Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are Group 6 would like to present our issues, which is how does the OSI models help the network administrator to troubleshoot a network issue. Our team members are NAZIFA binti Muhammad ZAINI, FITRAH binti ABDUL AZIZ, and FATIN ATHIRAH binti PARDI. I'm FATIN ATHIRAH binti PARDI, metric number 1182776. We'll present the introduction and the reason why we choose the issues. The rest of the slide will be presented and explained by my team members. Introduction. There are two complementary sets of rules governing the Internet working environment, which are standards and models. Standards are the laws to which suppliers must adhere if they are to interact with other suppliers, making themselves available and useful to the end user in turn. Also, some suppliers will create unique features that can only be configured and used on their equipment. These are called proprietary features. When implementing a network, a proprietary implementation can limit itself to its use and therefore not always an attractive option. Standard network is necessary and important for communication industry and computer industry. In this issue, we will discuss about the importance of standard network and development of the network. We also will describe or highlight the layer of OSI model that always be used in server network, such as troubleshooting the network, and lastly we will explain how OSI model do the troubleshooting network.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is FITRAH binti Abdul Aziz. My metric number is 1182650. Okay, so I will continue the presentation, which is why choose the issues. Okay, why choose the issues? Number one, the researcher decided to choose how does the OSI model help the network administrator to troubleshoot a network issues. And the second is, in this modern era globalization, everyone must have a network problem. In this case, the researcher interested in studying on this issue. Consequently or not, there are still many people who do not know what is a OSI model and does OSI model very useful to troubleshoot a network. The most important is one of the reasons why researchers choose this issue is does OSI model really function to our daily life? And in order to must have a solid understanding of troubleshooting principles and also to gain a solid understanding of troubleshooting principles, one must understand the open system interconnection, which is OSI model, and the different layers of the OSI model affect interconnected networks.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NAZIFA binti Muhammad ZAINI, metric number 1182649. Next is objective of network standards and models. The researcher makes the objective of the study as a guideline in conducting the study. Among the author's objectives in producing the study are: first, to identify why network standards are important and how they are developed. Second, to study and describe 7 layers OSI model. Third, to figuring how network troubleshooting using the OSI model.
Some findings on the issues. 4.1 to identify why network standards are important and how they are developed. importance of network standard. To ensure that you can work together with hardware and software, you cannot easily develop a network to share information without standards. Standard divided by two, which is formal standard and de facto standard. Formal standard is developed by government or industry organizations. For network layer software, data link layer, hardware and so on, formal norms exist. Formal standardization is a lengthy process of specification creation, option recognition, and acceptance by the industry. De facto standard is supported by technology vendors or suppliers by no official recognition by the standard organization. In the communication industry, de facto standard will become formal standard once the product is accepted widely. For example, Microsoft Windows is a product of one company and slowly developed then accepted by worldwide.
Okay, next, for the objective number 2, which is to study and describe 7 layers of OSI model. Okay, number 1 is physical layer. The physical layer also manages the way a device connects to the network medium. It provides the hardware means of sending and receiving data on a carrier, including defining cables, cards, and physical aspects. The data transport activity, such as the mechanical, electrical, and procedural interface, takes place in this phase. And Number two is data link layer. The protocol layer is also known as the specific layer of the OSI model. This deals with transferring knowledge from and through the physical relation. And number three is network layer. Okay, this one is one of the OSI model critical layer where data movement takes place and is channelized across other networks. Okay, number four is transport layer. This layer provides transparent transfer of data between end system or host and is responsible for end-to-end error recovery and flow control. Okay, number five is session layer. This session establishes, manages, and terminates connection between applications. And number six is presentation layer. This layer provides independence from difference in data representation, which is translating from application to network format, and vice versa. Okay, number seven is application layer. This layer supports application and end user processes, which is communication partners are identified, quality of service is identified, user authentication and privacy are considered, and any constraints on data syntax are identified.
The next is to figuring how network troubleshooting using the OSI model. First, bottom-up, and administration using the bottom-up approach will generally start by looking at physical layer issues, check for network connectivity breakdowns, and then process configuration of the network interface and error rates, and proceed with IP and TCP or UDP errors such as routing, fragmentation, and block fault before selecting application that experience. This approach works best when the network is completely down or has numerous low-level errors. Second, top-down. The top-down approach is the opposite of the bottom-up approach, as the manager first starts from the top of the OSI model, examines the failed application and tries to find out why the application is faulty. This model works best if the network is in non-good condition and the network is complete with a new application or application reconfiguration. The last one is divide and conquer. The divide and conquer approach entails an innate sense of where the problem might happen, starting from the layer of the OSI model and working from this point. This approach can also be applied to trivial problems previously seen by the administrator.
5 observations or insight about the findings. Number 1, standards are needed to ensure the devices and applications from different vendors or suppliers can work together. Number 2, the layers provides technology for switching and routing, creating logical paths for transmitting data from node to node, referred to as virtual circuits, routing and forwarding, as well as the addressing, internetworking, error handling, congestion control, and packet sequencing are functions of the. And number 3, the OSI models also can assist anyone in troubleshooting any networking problem.
Okay, next I will continue the suggestion advice to other. For the suggestion, okay, divide and conquer is a safer form of troubleshooting. OSI model is the best way to segment a problem efficiently so that the environment can be systematically condensed to find the solution and overcome the problem. Okay, for the advice, however, to ensure that hardware and software can work together, network standards are essential. We should be not easily build a network to exchange information without standard.
The last one is conclusion. Troubleshooting is an important aspect of the work of any network engineer or manager. Effective troubleshooting requires a sound knowledge of the OSI model, which is understand how each layer works and how each layer impacts the above and below layer. Start with a solid understanding of how the problem affects the user to faster resolution, and in any layer, you are able to more effectively analyze and identify root cause using the right performance management instrument along with the OSI models. That's all from us. Thank you.